In this video, we'll discuss how to start, change, and end an employee's employment and pay history. Using the left pane main menu, click on Employees, and then Employee Administration. Click on the employee's name or on the plus sign to the left to expand that employee's section. To add, view, or edit employment pay history, click on the Employment tab. To create a new employment pay history entry, whether it's a new employee, a pay raise, or a change in pay type, click on the plus sign to expand the window. Enter the employment, pay span start date and time in the employee's time zone. This time range should include all of the employee's work time. Holidays, benefits, piecework, and other areas throughout the system will display a warning message if time outside of the employee's employment pay range are attempted to be entered. Optionally, you can enter the employment pay span end date and time, also in the employee's time zone. This may be the end of a pay rate or the end of employment in general. If left blank, the employment and pay rate are ongoing and do not end. For clarification, a current pay range is one that has started in the past, even if that is just a minute in the past, and is either set to end in the future or is ongoing with no set end date. Even if an employee has a future dated employment pay range, meaning the start date is set in the future, or they have a past employment, meaning their employment pay range ended. Without a current employment pay range, the system will consider them inactive. To view inactive employees throughout the system, you can choose to show inactive employees on the List Options tab under My Settings, or on individual pages under Display Options. Continuing with the options here, select the employee's pay type from the drop-down menu. The options include hourly, salary non-exempt yearly, salary exempt yearly, salary non-exempt weekly, and salary exempt weekly. Enter the employee's pay rate. This is either their hourly, weekly, or yearly rate, depending on their pay type. For non-exempt salaried employees only, enter the scheduled weekly hours that the pay is intended to cover. Set this to 0 if salary covers all hours worked in the week. When it's not set to 0, salary pay will be prorated based on the actual worked hours. Enter the employee's title. Enter the employee's status, such as training, new hire, or regular, to be used for internal tracking. Select whether this employee has full-time or part-time status as defined for insurance and/or other benefit policies. Select whether or not this is a key employee as defined by IRS regulations. If holiday waiting periods and eligibility start with this pay history segment, check the Start of Holidays box. It is most common to check the box when it is a new hire or even with a rehire after a period of inactivity or unemployment. If the new range is for a pay raise, title change, etc., this is usually left unchecked. If benefit waiting periods and tenure levels start with this pay history segment, check the Start of Benefits box. This is similar to holidays, but let's look at an example. If an employee switches from part-time to full-time, you'll want to create a new employment pay history entry. With the start of the full-time status, the employee's benefits restart because they are now included in the full-time benefits group. So the Start of Benefits box is checked again at this point. In this situation, holidays do not restart because they do not need the holiday waiting period reapplied at the switchover. So the Start of Holidays box is not checked again at this point. Lastly, you can add a note if you like. Then click the Add Entry button to add the new employment pay span. By creating new pay history segments when an employee receives a new title, switches from full-time to part-time, receives a raise, etc., you can connect these changes to the pay segments. This means the history stays in the system and will be used by reports that cover past times to show what was set at that time. The options for benefits and holiday start will be used by the benefits and holiday engines when recalculating past times as necessary. Alternatively, you can make changes to an existing employment span, which will be logged in the audit, and those changes will be in effect for that segment. If you're in the middle of a segment, any change will be retroactive back to the beginning of the span. However, if payroll has already been processed, it will lock that pay history, so you may need to create a new segment to make further changes. This is helpful if you notice an error. For example, if an employee is marked as full-time but is really only part-time, you can fix it. But if an employee is moving from full-time to part-time, you should not just edit the existing span. Instead, split the pay history so there's a new segment on the date of the change from full-time to part-time, and everything else can stay the same. It's important to note that other data for the employee set outside of pay history is not time-tracked. For example, an employee's default job, badge number, name, etc. If you change an employee's name today and rerun a payroll report for last year, the name will be what it is set to today. To view and edit pay history, click on the plus sign next to the entry you wish to view. Make any changes and click the Save Row button. If this pay history entry needs to be divided into two separate time periods, as in the example we discussed before, click on the Split This Pay History button and enter in the date of the split. To remove this entry, click on the Delete This Pay History Period button. So let's go through a few examples. Say employee Piper was hired on January 1st, 2018, and then released on June 1st, 2018. Piper was then rehired on September 1st, 2018. Because of the gap in employment, we will restart their holidays and benefits. On February 1st, 2019, their title changed. Then on June 1st, 2019, their pay changed. They will have a total of 4 spans in their employment pay history.